Welcome to the Wyoming State Library Database Tutorial, Science in Context. Continuing the theme Summer of Space and the focus on science, this webinar will highlight Gale In Context Science. Gale has made some changes to the platform and their database naming. All in context now are Gale In Context Science or Gale In Context Biography. They've recommended, and we have taken that on, and we are alphabetizing ours and referring to them as Science, Gale In Context. Student Resources in Context has had a total name change, and that is now Gale In Context High School, or we'll be listing it High School, Gale In Context. Beginning here on GoWild.net, which will be changing its look soon, but all the things will be in its same place. You'll see our subject guides, and I'll select this from the alphabetic listing. The A to Z list has changed its look a bit, and now you've got a cleaner list. At the top here, the A to Z list has gone with you. You can look at them by subjects right from here, or database types. But I'm going to select Science, Gale In Context. A few of the platform changes they've made: the search box is larger. The toolbar here has had some changes. Browse topics. The Get link used to be bookmark, and highlights and notes is no longer hidden behind more. Their carousel here in the middle will rotate each month. To look at one of these featured topics, just click on Explore Topic. You do have to scroll down in order to see their topics. Here you can browse each one, and they've highlighted 3 in each category. To see all of those in the category, you need to link to the subject header. You can also go to browse all 644 topics here in Gale In Context Science. You can see it's a very long list. They also include what's been updated. Those topics also appear on this major list in a drop-down menu where you can go into one of those highlighted topics on the front, but you can also go to the new or updated. If you're selecting one from the main page rather than the all 644 topics, I'm going to select, for example, General Science. That will give me all their General Science topic pages. This is different from if you do a search and get results pages, and we'll look at that. So let's take a look at Science Fair Project and Experiments. When you have a Gale In Context topic page, you'll have an extensive overview that can be sent to your Google Drive, OneDrive, emailed, or downloaded. They've also included at the top its length in number of words, when appropriate, Lexile reading score, and always a content level, basic, intermediate, and advanced by green dot, yellow square, red triangle for advanced. On the left-hand side above the article, you'll see that you can translate. You can increase font size, or you can listen.
Science Fair Projects and Experiments. Science fairs are exhibitions.
And notice that it's highlighted. However, if you go over here to this little gear, you'll see that you can change those highlighting options. You can turn text highlighting off if that's intrusive, but you can also enhance that text visibility by clicking the On button here. So now when I hit play,
Science Fair Projects and Experiments. Science fairs are exhibitions or competitions designed to allow students the opportunity to design experiments.
So you can see that enhanced text, larger text, as it's being read, and the highlighting following along with the reading. And that can also be turned back off. So take a look at some of these options in that listen mode. I'm going to use the breadcrumbs here at the top left to go back to our main page. Below our topic overview, you'll see that we have several content types and how many items are in there. So we have 43 news items, 72 experiments, for example. You can use these linked contents or just scroll down. Again, Gale highlights 3 different items. To see the total amount in that category, you just click on View All. Scroll down. So our experiments, there's also 4 videos, which might be great for library work or classroom work. News items, there's also academic journals and magazine articles, depending on the audience you're working with. So back here at the top, we've noticed that we have quite a few results items for this, 370 magazines. But notice that we can search within these results. So I can search atoms on top of my science fair projects and experiments. You see that's sorted right here. And I've narrowed by atoms. So for example, I have these 3 reference items. I can go into one of those now that I've narrowed it down. The other thing I want to show you is that we can highlight a sentence or a paragraph. Once I let go of the cursor, it pops up a box where I can highlight that item and I can leave a note with it. So I can put a sentence or a word, and notice now at the top right, I now have 1 item in my highlights and notes. So I can continue on with this item, or using my breadcrumbs, go back to my reference items. Notice that it says I have no highlights and notes. That was items or article specific. So let's go into another article. And again, let's just do a highlight. There we go. Highlight, again, make a note, and save that one. So I have 1. So now I want to go look at my highlights and notes. So I can go up here, click on Highlights and Notes, and notice I have 1 from the current article I'm in. If I click View All Highlights and Notes, it will now show me everything I've highlighted and made notes on within this search. You notice that if you don't download or send these notes to your email, when I close out this search, those will be lost. You can also come up here and make a label. So I have label color is green, and I can do atoms, for example. Each one of those colors, I can change my label. Notice I have here on my legend, I have the atoms, and at the bottom, the bibliography. I'm going to go back out to the main page, and let's put a search in the search box. Notice that we have highlighted Richard Feynman in bold, and say Richard Ford is not. This lets you know if there's an in context topic page in bold, or if you're just going to get a basic results list. Since it is in bold, here we have our in context topic page with our extensive overview. Because it's on a person, I've got some information about him, some quick facts. And of course, below that, we have our linked table of contents, or we can scroll down to our specific items. I can come over here and use these filtering boxes, either by Lexile measure, content level, subject, document type. You can also narrow by peer-reviewed journals, for example, or full-text documents. The last thing I'm going to show for searching is under Advanced Search. You'll see that on the toolbar there's Topic Finder. This allows students to narrow their search and see more visually what that topic looks like and what those narrowing terms are. So I'm going to search Mars, and you'll see that it pops up with these words that they can narrow their search on these tiles. You can also, by clicking in there, change it to a wheel so I can do all my space missions and those subcategories, subtitles. I'm going to go back to tiles, a little more visual representation, and click on Space Missions. Notice now it's giving me more words that I can narrow my search, or on the right it's giving me now my results articles for Mars and space missions. I have 51 items here. I can scroll down and take a look at those items. I can select one and go into it. This one, notice, is a broadcast where you can play the audio and it's giving you the transcript of that broadcast. And again, you can use your same saving to items and downloading. You can also look at the right-hand side and click on More Like This, and it will take you to an additional list of items. So back out on the main page, I'm going to scroll down. At the very bottom are some educator resources, including curriculum standards, where you can select the Nationwide Standards Next Generation Science, for example, and I can select middle school. I'm going to stick with Earth and Space, and notice I can keep expanding that particular standard. Under each standard, you'll see that I have subjects that are highlighted. So here I can click on that, and now I've got the items within this resource under Celestial Mechanics, and it gives me that content reading level right here in my abstract. Also at the bottom are these educator resources. Gale has provided a resource page that includes Google Classroom integration, the reading level guide, training materials, marketing materials, and on the right-hand side, they've created these tip sheets and worksheets on these specific topics. So helping high school kids with their reports, writing a topic sentence, understanding graphs, how to build an argument, write a thesis statement. So take a look at some of those to see if they can help you out in your after-school work at the library or in your school library. So as I pointed out, back here on the subject page, the research guides and tutorials, be sure and take a look at those. Notice that all these categories, including science resources, which will give you recommended databases and other support materials and tutorials. So I hope you've been able to get some things out of our Summer of Space, Summer of Science tutorials and our marketing kits that have gone out. And please keep celebrating and keep looking up. Please contact us here at the State Library if you've got any questions on these Go Wild databases or access to them. Thanks for joining in. Bye now.